Right, people, if you can hear me now, let me know. Right, people, if you can hear me now,
Rom, I can hear you, they can hear you.
All right. So, we found a solution, boys, eventually. So, Michael, you're gonna send a message to Aaron?
Yeah, I've let Aaron know. I'll put a thing in the race thing as well. Comms is sorted. Sorry about that, fellas. We have no idea what was going on there, unless Rom, you have any idea?
So, basically, something weird was happening. So, like, my mic was muted, but it wasn't muted. Like, me and Mike could perfectly speak to each other, but on the stream it said it was muted. So I muted my mic, which shouldn't be done, but it unmuted it then. So now it's working. So yeah, again, our apologies for the delay and all the issues we had, boys. But let's crack on
Let's get some racing.
So, as we told already, but you couldn't hear us, of course. Tonight we have the closing stage of our 16th season of GT Sport so far. We've had a long road since the last 3 to 4 years. We've seen many drivers pass by and still are in the league. So let's crack on.
I do believe they've done a custom grid.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened in quali, but we got Aaron on pole with T Smith just behind, and Pagani is way back in 13th. So maybe there is an upset on the cards just yet.
All right. So engines are on. And there we go. Aaron has a really good start. It seems that Aaron keeps the lead, and Lee had a good start as well compared to SBI.
We've all kept it clean round turn 1, which is quite key around this track.
Cusker is looking to make a move on Unsafe, but Unsafe keeps the inside and keeps the position. So after the 3 corners, we have Aaron in the lead, T. Smith following. Behind him, we have Lee and SBOI who are fighting for the 3rd place in the championship this evening. Back then, we have Unsafe closely behind. We have Cusker, then Lennon, Ross, Zom, Jono, Paul, who lagged out of quali, Blue Flag, Brett, and to close off we have Chunky.
Tell you what our comm issues did do, it gave Pagani that little bit of time to get his internet issues sorted, so obviously every issue has a silver lining.
Well, he will be happy about that,
Yeah.
I reckon. So basically we have, if you can call it that way, a championship decided tonight. We have Paul in 1st place and T. Smith on 2nd place with a 40-point difference, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's definitely a sizable gap, but it's not an undoable
38
one.
to be correct. So basically, Paul has to score 5 points to get the championship in his pocket. So, in my opinion, I think Mike's opinion as well, something miraculous has to happen to bottle that.
When Pagani lagged out of quali, you never knew. But now that he's back, I feel like I think he's got that title wrapped up.
Yeah. Well, like I said on the previous lap, the main battle we're looking at then is SBY and Lee, where there's a 10 points difference between the both of them, and they're fighting for the 3rd place in the championship.
They are, yeah. Again, something we mentioned in our quali session that unfortunately you guys wouldn't have heard was that Cartman, who is also in that 3rd place battle in the championship, sadly cannot race tonight because of all the issues that are currently going on in Ukraine. And yeah, like I said in qualifying, both Rom and I and the entire FTRL community will wish that Cartman, his family, and everybody involved are okay and well. They keep safe,
Exactly.
and that hopefully it comes to some kind of peaceful resolution soon. But who knows?
In the meantime, Aaron was close to breaking slipstream with Tom. But Tom managed. Oh, and we have SBY on the inside. But
Lee saw it coming, switched him back really well there.
That's the thing, isn't it? On Brand's hat, it's basically the only. Druids is like the only place you can easily overtake someone.
Yeah, a lot of these corners are very tricky to overtake at.
Yeah.
Very easy to overrun and clip your wheels on the grass, and once that happens, it's incredibly difficult to find your line again. So, yeah, turn one, and is it Druids, the one at the bottom, the hairpin?
Yeah, the upcoming one as well, maybe, if you have a good line.
If you have a good line, yep. Pagani's already made himself up from, where did he start? Was it 13th?
13th, yeah. To 7th.
He's already made himself up to 7th, so he's
going on the offside of Lennon at the moment. But thinks better of it.
He knows himself. He won't need to make any rash decisions here. He hasn't got to win these races.
He gives it this way. He's back side to side with Lennon now. Gets the inside. And that's moved up.
Yeah, up to 6th.
And Ross is looking to take advantage of this as well.
Yep.
Gets on the inside of Lennon.
Aaron holding off T. Smith nice and well as well. So guys, you probably would have missed, but if you don't know, this is obviously the last week of not just GT1, it's actually the last week of GT Sport on FTRL. As you know, the new game, the GT7, comes out this time next week. Yeah, it's going to be sad to see GT Sport go, but GT7's only around the corner, and I'm sure we're going to create some wicked races and seasons on that as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, I joined, I reckon, at season 10 or 9. I don't know. It seems so far, but if you think about it, it's only been like 1 year and a half, 2 years maybe. So in that time, so much things have happened.
Yeah,
so many races.
When you think that each season is between 8 to 12 weeks in a season, you can easily get through 3 or 4 seasons in an entire year. So, Aaron's picked himself up half a second penalty. Quite easy to do around here.
Yeah. Currently, I'm looking at the 4-car train for P3. It's very close to everyone. Oh. Lee goes a bit wide there, but managed to save it. Seems that SBY is breaking loose. Yeah.
I think Junky's had a bit of an off somewhere. He's just fallen off the pack a bit. He's 4.5 seconds behind Tom. But,
yeah, because he was driving in 12th or 11th, I reckon. Unsafe.
Yeah, they're all quite close together, so there might have been a little bit of a dab of a wheel on the gravel or the grass. There's plenty of it around Brands.
Sam was looking to go on the inside of Druids on unsafe, but unsafe managed to hold it well.
As I say, I love unsafe's unsafe livery. Unsafe liveries are usually pretty spectacular. It's gone a bit more simple today, but I think the message is quite clear.
Yeah. Back to the front, then it is. T. Smith is keeping all the pressure on Aaron, but I don't think he's gonna put too much pressure on do any certain moves, because the gap between him and SBY is only 2.5 seconds. So if we know Tom by now a bit, he's just gonna wait till the final couple of laps to make his move, if he's gonna make a move.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he can sit behind Aaron with that penalty, and as long as Aaron can't bleed it, he'll win the race. He'll win the race regardless. But can we just admire Tom's effort on his livery as well? It's a concoction of all his liveries, all his favourite liveries over the various GT seasons. Exactly. It's very. He's got Lightning McQueen on one side, and brilliant, really good job.
Good fun. I tend to recognize the livery as well where he was my teammate with the BMW.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a good idea from Tom. So,
Yeah,
bit further back, SBY has managed to break the stream from
from
Lee
Lee Carr.
Cusker. And Paul has managed to go up to 6 now,
Yeah,
following. He's trying to close that gap between himself and Cusker. Only one
yeah.
half second.
Kasker's actually pulling away a little bit. Not too sure if Pagani had a bit of a poor run out of the corner or whether it was more to do with the slipstream that Kasker had, but could be quite quick short.
What's happening further back? Yeah, nothing much really.
We've got a few of the GT2 boys in here tonight as well. How are they getting on? So we've got Zom and Junkie Sport, both bringing up the rear, but making a good account of themselves. Zom just behind Unsafe.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Normally, like the difference if we're looking at the F1 side of FTRL. Oh, and we have a bit of move between Tom and Aaron. Seemed like Aaron made a mistake. Maybe I didn't see it, but Tom was still on the outside of Aaron through it. So it's.
Aaron just flashed his headlights, so maybe that was a little nudge from Tom, and then Tom maybe just eased off to let him back through. Obviously, very good friends these two, so there won't be any rough racing around, on purpose for any of these guys.
So like I was saying, like on the F side, the difference between F1 and F2 isn't that big, but on GT Sport, it's a bit bigger. Like
Exactly,
I don't know.
yeah.
Do you know what pole time yesterday was, Mike? Because I didn't see.
I think it was a low 28, I believe.
See, let's say
and these
that's
guys,
half a second difference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've raced against some of these guys before, and whilst on a one-lap thing, I might be able to keep up with them. The difference isn't necessarily the pace; it's more the consistency. They're able to kind of just drive lap after lap without making many mistakes. It's truly almost inhuman the way these guys drive sometimes.
Well, last time when I was with Aaron on the comms, he said it perfectly. Like some of these guys are top level of GT Sport. I'm not gonna say like e-sport level, like that's something else. But like on the multiplayer side of GT Sport, like these guys are, yeah, serious top level.
Absolutely.
Oh, something's happening. Something's feisty between Lennon, Jono, and is that blue flag? No, it's Ross.
Yeah, we've also got Pagani has also caught up with Kuska. The last time I looked at those two, they were a second and a half apart. Pagani is now well and truly within slipstream range. So
yeah, well, I think
this would be enough to seal the title for Pagani.
It would. I don't reckon he's gonna make any mistake. Just easy
Very rarely
out.
does he.
But we know Pagani. He's not gonna let it be like for the sixth position. He wants to
win every race.
Yeah, he wants to be higher up.
Exactly. So who we got in the chat? We've got Joey Corboy. How you doing, buddy? Peteman. Hello, mate. And we got Captain Chubbs in there as well. Good evening for the fourth time. Yep. Sorry about the issues there, lads. Technology's great until you want to use it.
Jesus, Chubbs, you don't have to be here if you don't want to.
Pagani should do a Pagani slide. I'd love for him to do a little pirouette across the line if he knows that he's won the league, won the championship, which I'm sure he would know by now.
Well, he's pressuring Kuska. The things that I've seen from Kuska, obviously, is new to the FTRL GT Sport side, at least. He's been doing great so far.
He has.
He's made some great improvements from the beginning of the seasons, and
Absolutely. I think that's been the case over for all the new guys that have joined us, GT2 and GT1. They've all kind of hit the ground running, and a few of them who were pretty new to it, especially in GT2. The likes of Adamako, Wesker, Jonesy just came in, and obviously Jonesy won the GT2 championship last night. So
right.
I think everybody who's joined, not so good for me because it means that I've got even more competition. But they really hit the ground running. I think if Jonesy was to join GT1, I feel like he could really give some of these guys a good run for their money.
Oh, and Brad is off. Don't know if that was contact with Zom or unsafe maybe.
I don't know.
We have
I know
Jono
Brad.
going on the inside of Sai. Is he gonna make Sai gonna make it difficult? Because as you know, or you may not know, Sai is very difficult to pass.
He is. He likes making his cars as wide as possible.
But Sai managed to get the position, and
Aaron's still holding the lead over Tom.
yeah.
And again, that, like you said earlier, that might just be Tom being very, very patient and waiting for the opportune moment right at the end of the race. But still, the pace is there for Aaron. He's
Well, sorry to interrupt, but Paul is on the inside of the straight.
move done, brilliant.
Cusker is flashing his headlights. Don't know if he's aware of that. Oh, he is.
He is a pad user.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot.
It's pretty common with us pad users.
Pressing on those joysticks because of the pressure.
Yep. Especially around brands, I find myself moving my body around the corners because you're trying to make the car turn more than it actually can.
Yeah, and all the adrenaline that goes through your thumbs and fingers, I can imagine. No, but with Paul and Cusker battling, that's it. Lee has managed to break out and he's trying to close the gap. It still has a lot to go though. Still has to close 1.5 seconds.
This isn't a bad result for Lee. I know he's got a 10-point deficit, and this obviously make it 11. But he's still got 2 races to go, and there's plenty of chances for a mistake or something like that from SPY. So yeah, I don't think this is too bad. I don't think Lee needs to push too hard. He can just settle for 4th and go for it again in races 2 and 3. So
Tom had a really good exit, and now he's pushing. Now he goes alongside Aaron. See if he can keep it on the outside.
Yeah,
it's going to be a difficult
one.
one.
Hold it. Yeah, he's just going to hold behind. He has got to be careful because they have got SPY.
He's closing up.
SPY approaching.
He's closed up like 7-8 tenths in the last couple of laps. So
yeah, I mentioned last week that SPY, he's usually one of those racers who would be battling for the championship, but he just hasn't settled with that car this season. He's really struggled with it.
Well, if you look at last season or 2 seasons ago, he might not be too unhappy, to be honest. He was sliding that, what car was it again? I think it was the BMW. He was sliding all over the place with that car. So in comparison to that, he has a Lancero, which is pretty stable.
probably likes the fact that it just sticks to the ground, yeah.
He's like, a couple of races I was behind him for most of the race, but he was sliding everywhere. I was wondering how is he still on track. Like,
I've got to say, I think you and me are probably going to have one of the best memories of SBY in recent times from World Brands, and how alcohol may have affected his ability to get into a tent.
But he found it the best of 2 worlds in a bar of Twix, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Alcohol and Twixes.
Oh, and Tom goes on the outside again. Will you be able to get it done now? It's a difficult one, isn't it? Like, on the outside of that one, you really have to be like...
Aaron's got the defense of that corner nailed at the moment.
Yeah. But looking at it, Tom is really eager to get that first position.
Yeah, you've currently got Lennon sitting in 7th at the moment, so that's that pole position for race 2. For those of you who may not know, if there's any new people in this chat, race 2 is a reverse grid from from 1st to 7th. So Lennon currently will be starting on pole position. Cusco in 2nd, Pagani in 3rd, and so on and so forth. Everybody that finishes 8th and back will stay in their positions for race 2. And then race 3 will be a full reverse grid from race 2.
Exactly. Meanwhile, SBY has managed to catch up to the leading pair.
And he has. I think those two at the front just battling a little bit has allowed SBY just to close that gap. And if there's one person you don't want attacking, it's probably SBY, because he will go for gaps, he will go for moves.
Exactly. Every little mistake you make, he'll take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll try to force it as well.
Yeah, he's got that real driver's instinct as well. Sometimes a little bit too much so, some would say, but he's got that driver's instinct that if there's a gap, he's going to go for it.
Yeah. But like, in that view, me and SBY are a bit the same driving-wise and tactic-wise. Like, we try to put our nose in things that we know won't work, but just to get into the head of our opponent and let them make a mistake.
I completely get that. I think that's one thing that I'm starting to try and bring into my racing, is the fact that I need to get my elbows out a little bit more, show my nose and show that I'm not afraid to go for a move, even if I'm not actually going to go through with a move, just to try and get into that, the driver's head. So
exactly. Meanwhile, in the back, Paul has a couple of laps or go already, car P5, and has managed to break the stream from the pair of 4 they were forming. Ooh, that's Lennon almost into the gravel.
That gravel's not nice. I found it a few times last night.
But for the last lap, let's go back to the front of the race, where Aaron has a good exit out of that corner. So
yeah, he's still got that penalty, and if SPY can close up a little bit, he's in danger of actually finishing 3rd in this race.
Yeah.
He could potentially bleed it on the line if he's able to do that.
It will depend, because SPY is lagging off a bit. Don't know what's happening all of a sudden.
Maybe some slightly dirty tyres if he caught the wheel on the grass.
Will Tom try anything, or will he keep it smart and just stay behind Aaron?
I think he'll keep it smart. I mean, Aaron's going to win this on the track. Can he bleed that penalty in time before SVY crosses the line? I think Tom probably will get him.
No, he doesn't bleed it out.
No, he just doesn't bleed it. Just settles for 3rd. I mean, it's still a very good result for someone who was getting used to a wheel in GT2 not long ago.
Exactly. So we have first position for Tom on schedule. Then we have SBY, Aaron on 3rd because of his penalty. 4th we have Lee, 5th Pagani. So that's his championship roundup. So congratulations to Paul.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic season from Pagani. Hasn't been in doubt for a few weeks, but Tom's been able to just somehow prevent him getting it early. So, yep, well done Pagani. Truly deserved.
So that wraps up the first race. Let's take a look then again at the final standings. If the little intergroup is over. So let's see. So we have, as said, Tom in first position, SBY 2nd, and Aaron who closes up the podium. For Lee 5th.
And immediately, just to show his class, immediately in the Discord, Pagani being congratulated by Tom Smith. Like, shows his class well and truly. I may give him a load of crap for the fact he's from Birmingham, but yeah,
that's
absolute
nice.
class there from Tom.
Nah, that's proper respect. So to go further, Ross in 6th, Cusker in 7th. So Cusker will start at pole position in next race. Then we have in 8th position Lennon, 9th Jono, 10th Blue Flag, and to round up then Unsafe in 11th, Psalm 12th, Junkie 13th, and Brett in last position. Though that wraps it up. to get a difference. So now the difference between SBY and Lee is 12 points. So that means that Lee, yeah, basically has to win practically everything, or at least have six places in difference in both races. So it's gonna be a difficult task for Lee to get that third position, but it's not impossible.
No, definitely not. Definitely not impossible. Good evening, Nobby Norris.
Oh,
how are you doing, buddy?
Stephen.
Had an interesting evening last night with Nobby trying to watch both the race and his beloved Arsenal during race 1 last night, and miraculously started driving much better in races 2 and 3 when he turned the stream off. Very big result there for Arsenal last night. He was pretty happy with that, as was Aaron.
Did I win?
They did win, yeah, with the final, pretty much one of the final kicks of the game.
Ooh, nice.
As a West Ham fan, I didn't particularly like it. I would have preferred a draw, but there you go. Anyway, I'm just going to go grab a drink. I shall be back in 2 seconds.
All right. Well, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the next race to start, let me know, guys, what you're expecting from GT7 and what you're most looking forward to the new game. That way we can break up a bit of the 2 minutes that we are waiting now for the next race. So, and if you haven't done it already, please leave a like of this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm starting to sound a bit like a new YouTube or Twitch streamer, but let's go and give those likes and subs, mates.
Ron, just a quick heads up, I shall be back in a few minutes. My daughter has just woken up.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that, mate.
Thank you.
Who and some with a bold prediction, actually. No, but some. It might be a time, mate. Like, I don't expect too much change through physics, to game physics on GT Sport compared to well, GT7 to compared to GT Sport, of course. Well, I think it's just gonna be like a visual upgrade most of the time. Thing that I find pretty cool is the dynamic weather. Now, it only has to be known if it's gonna be for multiplayer or single player only. But I hope they do it at multiplayer as well, because for me personally, it's like a standard in racing simulators to have that feature. Besides that, Nabi is looking forward to tune his cars. As I know, and maybe some of you as well, Nabi is really into tuning his Mazda. I've seen a couple of videos he posted on social media. He's cleaned it a couple of weeks ago, if I remember well. Looked very nice. It looked pretty nice, Navi. Seemed like it needed to be. No, okay, so I just put the messages that we're gonna start again, and let's get ready for race 2, boys. Leave your prediction in the chat, who you reckon is gonna win this race. We have Cascar starting on pole. Let's see who is behind him. So we have Cascar on pole, Ross on second place. Then we have Paul, Lee, Aaron on fifth, SBY on sixth, D Smith on 7 and Lennon on B8. So give your prediction, boys. Engines are getting fired up. And off we go. A very good start from Ross. Please game, give me a better angle. Ooh, and that was BMW almost into the barrier. Despite the good start from Ross, Kusker still managed to keep P1, but a bit sliding under the brakes. Meanwhile, everything seems to be going cleanly for everybody. Yeah, everybody seems fine, so let's crack on with it. So we have Kusker in P1, Ross P2, Paul P3. I think he's gonna be looking for a race win right here. He hasn't won the first one because of his lack out of quality, but I reckon he's willing to win this one. Then P4 we have Lee, who has some points to catch up to SBY, so let's see if the two teammates work together and get that position. Aaron in P5, position change, just too late. Oh, it's a bit of when Ross is hit the barrier. D Smith on the inside of SBY, a bit of contact, but seems alright. Battle is not over yet. SBY is looking to make a move on side, but side keeps the position. Oh, in the back, Sam is making a move on Junkie Sport. Ooh, and is that Lennon almost got out by the gravel. Sam gets on the inside of Jono. Gets the inside again and takes the position, but Jono has a great run. Meanwhile, Unsafe goes on the inside of SBY. Oh, and SBY catches on the grass and gets a slide into the gravel, and down he goes. So this is really good news for Lee, who managed to crawl up to third because of the mistake that Ross made. So the top four are basically running away. There's a little gap between Aaron and Lennon, who's driving a bit by himself at the moment, but he has a fastly charging T Smith coming up. Meanwhile, Unsafe is looking to get past side quickly, I reckon. And meanwhile, at the back, oh, that's Brett, who's got gravel, unfortunately. Let's get it back to the front. Cusker is still in the lead, with Paul behind him and Lee in third, Aaron in fourth. So this little group, I reckon the next couple of laps nothing much will be happening. They will try to make a gap between themselves and Lennon. And meanwhile, D-Squid is looking to close that gap, so a lot of different goals here in this race. Peteman with the prediction SBY would win it, but yeah, unfortunately that's out of the question because he has caught the grass. Now it's a comeback race for SBY, which has a let's say 2 second and 2 tenths gap between him and Junkie, so he should be fine closing that up, but he can't be caught too much time between any of the other drives. Oh, and Aaron goes wide. But managed to save it well. It's gonna be affected through those dirty tires though, which means that Lennon is able to catch up on him. Wait, T-Smith following closely. He's Lennon going for moves. He goes take a look for the inside. Very respectful driving. Aaron lets him go. Don't lose too much time, but goes for a cutback. Will it work? Goes on the inside of Druids.
I am back.
Oh, and that's nicely defended from Aaron so far. Keeps his position after a little slide in the third sector. Welcome back, Mike. Yeah, it's been eventful so far. SBY has got the grass in lap 2, so he's down to P13 at the moment. So
yeah, I've noticed there's a big difference between Lee and SVY. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
keep an eye on that.
As it stands, the top 3 are running away. Paul catches grass a bit, but everything will be fine, I reckon. So if these 3 keep going, yeah, it's really looking good for Lee at the moment. What's happening further back?
It's exactly the kind of result Lee would want, especially going into race 3. Although bear in mind, in race 3, if it does stay like this, Lee would be starting in the same position SBY is. They'd basically be reversing their starting positions.
Ooh, bit of scrap between Jono and Save and Zom. Zom is still on the inside of Jono, who was pushed a bit wide by Zom. But they keep on going. Keeps the position for now, and Jono lets him go.
Those front 3 have really just run away at the moment, haven't they? They've got Aaron closing in 2 seconds behind, but they are kind of in the world of their own at the moment.
So we missed. Apologies. So we missed that. T-Smith got past Lennon.
Oh yeah, yep. So then up T-Smith up to 5th. So I was going to ask, Rom, are we seeing you back on GT7?
You will, Mike. You will.
Good to hear. Good to hear, buddy.
I've been out, like I said, I think I started at GT in season 9 or 10, and it was quite getting a bit dull for me. Not that I didn't like the game anymore, but like I didn't really practice anymore, and yeah, it just came to common. Yeah, I needed a break from game.
Exactly. Sometimes you need a bit of a break, just to recharge your batteries and just rekindle a bit of the love for a certain game.
But yeah, looking forward though to GT7.
Yeah, I'm really excited about GT7. I think the weather system, I think that's going to really give us something to play with the championships. The fact that there's possible slight tuning involved as well, like you could add spoilers and things like that. I wonder whether that's going to affect the online races, but there's a lot of questions still to be answered about multiplayer. So when we get the game next week, there's going to be a lot of testing and looking into what we can and can't do for the next season or the first season of GT7.
Exactly. Meanwhile, SBY has managed to jump back up to P11. So has now a 4-second gap to close to Jono, which will be pretty difficult as he is in a 4-car train, so he has the advantage of having slipstream.
SBY up to 11th. He's managed to get past Ross. So that's an 8-point swing at the moment in favour of Lee Cole. So what would that? It'll make it 4 points in the final race. It's good that we're going to have something interesting to be able to commentate on in race 3, if obviously it stays like this.
Oh, and Paul is getting a bit impatient. He wants to make the move, and goes on the inside. No, he thinks better of it.
Yeah.
Was looking to make a move on. Oh, almost catches gravel.
it's like we said last race. Like Paul Pagani is one of those races. He wants to win every race, no doubt about it. But he's not going to tarnish his or someone else's races just because he wants to get an extra point. So he's a very good driver like that. He will be patient. He will wait for his move, and it looks like it's now.
Meanwhile, I was looking to get feisty between the 4 cars for P7, really close up to each other.
Yeah, no surprise that Blue Flag leads that train.
Exactly. I don't think much will change for the rest of the race about that.
So we've currently got one of the hardest defenders on GT Sport against one of the hardest people to have behind you, unsafe.
Ooh, goes on the outside.
Yeah. Space given though. Space given.
He keeps it
nice
for the moment.
You got Zom up there in ninth. Go on, boy.
Yeah.
Showing us GT2 boys proud.
Yeah, he's made a couple of good moves so far. Zom.
That car does go well around here. He's got his. He'd never won a race in F1 or GT until last night, so he timed it well, leaving it for the final 3 races of GT Sport to get his first 2 wins. So, yep, well done, mate.
Well, he told me in the chat while you were away that GT7 is going to be his moment. He's going to win his first race there.
Yep, we'll have to see what GT7 brings in terms of. Is it going to be much different to GT Sport? Is it going to feel exactly the same? Because if it feels exactly the same, then most of us are going to pick up where we left off.
Exactly. I don't think there will be too much difference.
I don't either.
Because of physics, but we'll see. Meanwhile, something must have happened while we were chatting between Zom and Jono, because they dropped off from Unsafe and Blue Flag.
I've been keeping an eye on them. They were battling going around Druids and Graham Hill, so it may have been that they lost a little bit of time there.
Yeah. Unsafe is really looking to get past Sai now.
Yeah, I think he's getting a bit impatient, isn't he?
Yeah. He tends to do that a lot, Unsafe, but he manages to keep his cool every time.
Yes. Unsafe right now. The back of Sai's car is currently looking like a jumbo jet.
Ooh, and a bit of contact.
Ooh, he's gone round. I think he's got the move done. A little bit of rubbing, but
yeah,
he's got the move done.
SBY has taken advantage of the little scrap between Zom and Jono as well. He's managed to jump up to 10th now.
Yep. Yeah, shout out to Brad. He moved over from GT2 very early on in the season. He's definitely got the pace about him. He really does. But he's also got a very Mikey element about him, which is he's prone to a mistake. I think he's got more pace in Group 3 cars as well, as opposed to Group 4s. So I'm not too sure this is really set with him very well. But there's no doubt that if he makes a transition over to GT7 with the rest of us, he can definitely compete. He really can.
Yeah, exactly. What JP says in the chat, he's a bit underwhelmed about the new game because on his point of view, they put more effort into the single player than they did into the multiplayer.
Yeah, I can get that. I mean, we had that video. It's a half an hour video released about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and it did focus heavily on career and tuning and what you can do in the races and how good it's going to be in that respect. But I feel like what they're probably going to do is wait for the game to come out.
Sorry to interrupt, Mike. SBY is making a move on some nice little cutback.
Oh yeah, very nice.
And gets it done in turn 1.
He's cutting that. He's cutting that damage down, isn't he? He's got it down now to 5 points.
He's on a mission.
Yeah.
But now he has to get past Sai, and that's gonna be something else.
Exactly. And Sai and Lee are good friends. I know Sai's not going to give up this position very easy. But yeah, in terms of GT7, I feel like they'll wait for the game to come out before making any rash decisions about what to change with multiplayer. Obviously, with it being cross-gen, you're going to be able to have PS4 and PS5 players playing on at the same time, but the one thing they don't want to do is make it OP for those that are on PlayStation 5. If having 20 card grids, for example, is going to be big cut back here from SBY. He's trying to make a move around. That's allowed Zomfruit. He's lost a position there.
It can still going on.
As good as overtakes are, they can quite easily go another way.
And Zom's off. Zom go off. So that's easy 2 passes for SBY. So Lee won't be too happy about that.
No.
Seeing SBY name appear in top 8.
Yep. So yeah, if GT7.
Sorry. Meanwhile, it's kicking off at the front as well. Kaska lost 2 places to Paul and Lee, and Aaron and Tom has managed to...
Yeah, we've now got a 5-car train at the front. This is great. I love the fact this is the last race of the season. There's not really all too much to play for. I know Lee and SBY have got their P3 to go for, but the fact that they're all going for the win and they're all trying, just like it's the first week of the season, is fantastic.
They surely are giving us a show tonight. Let's see what's happening at the little group. More at the back. It has been split up a bit more after everyone going right.
Yep.
Lennon having a lonely race so far.
Yeah, he's just kind of making mind his own business in the middle of the 2 packs. I mean, P6 is a good result. If I was Lennon, I'd be quite settled for that.
Yeah, but to the return to the subject of GT7, I don't think they have to change too much about multiplayer. It's good as it is, like only a certain amount of features that have to be added, but that's all about it.
Exactly. I do think if the game comes out and it's still only 15 car grids, 16 car grids maximum,
I wouldn't be disappointed, to be fair. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with that, but I can definitely see them upping it to 20 car grids in the future once they've worked out the kinks, the bugs, and all that kind of stuff. They don't want to release a game that all of a sudden you jump into multiplayer and it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the last thing they need to do. So, yeah, upgrade everything that needs to be upgraded. Don't fix anything that's not broke, and go from there. Yeah, if we got GT Sport with enhanced graphics, new cars, new tracks, I think everybody would be pretty happy with that. To be fair, for at least the time being. Yeah, as close as this 5-car train at the front.
Yeah, Paul and Lee are trying to get a bit away. Like Kaska is trying to keep up, manages to at the moment.
Top 5 are only 1.2 seconds in between all of them, so...
Saying how close it is, isn't it? Oh, and Aaron takes another penalty.
He might try and bleed some of that. Yeah, he is. Look, he knows that these guys are going to fight as well. He'll catch up with those guys without a doubt. He's got the pace.
So what we're looking at, 2 laps to go, I reckon.
Yeah, this one and one more, I believe.
So the battling is on. I don't think too much is going to happen between P1 and P2. I think Lee's happy with the P2.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Maybe Tom will want to get a P3 or maybe a P2 if possible, but meanwhile at the back, yeah, everything is spread out, so he can put our full focus to the top 5 for this final 2 laps. Paul had a good exit.
The only other real on-track battle that we've currently got is Jono against Ross. Ross is almost pushing Jono around at the moment, but other than that, they all seem to be kind of a little bit more spread out. Something's happened to Junkie, our expert livery maker. Oh. He's fallen off the back and he's now behind Bread. So I'm guessing that may have been a turn 1. Because if you get caught in that gravel trap, it can take you a while to get out of it.
It does. I think Junkie is mainly looking forward to the new livery system. if it is new, of course.
I am as well. I think with the majority of GT7, they have kept it quite the same as what GT Sport currently has. But I think they've made a few little tweaks. They've added things like opacity in there, which I'm really looking forward to using.
Yeah.
They've added things like you can actually see what angles you're putting things at now, all that kind of stuff. Just little additions that I think those people like Pagani, Carl, Unsafe, SBY, Zom, those ones that are just expert at making these liveries. I think they're really going to enjoy having those little additions put in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It can mean two things, doesn't it? Or they don't say anything about because something's big is gonna happen, or they don't say anything because nothing's too much has been changed.
Yeah, it can be secretive, or it could be just the the truth in the fact that actually multiplayer staying pretty similar. But anyway, last lap of the race, still got that 5-car train at the front, or 4-car train, because Aaron hasn't quite been able to catch up with the front 4 after bleeding that penalty.
Tom has tried to make a move on Koska is defending well so far.
Yep.
Lee was thinking about it as well. I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything about. Have I spoken too early? Paul catches grass, and Lee is on the inside. Goes for the inside, and what is that?
To be honest, as teammates, he may be letting his teammate through there.
That would be a nice team play.
Who's going to get what here?
Third place.
The front
with only
4.
0.08 of a second difference between second and fourth.
That's crazy.
Well done, chaps. Good race.
Good result there for Lee. He gets the 6-point swing, so that now brings it down to another 6 points that he needs to get over SPY in race 3.
He's looking for a difficult task for the last race.
Yeah. Bear in mind he's going to be starting towards the back as well. He's going to be starting at the back. His Lee car.
So. Well, that was a good second race. Hope they can deliver on the third one as well. Let's see what the final results were. So Lee and P1 with a little Los Muertos kind of racing suit. Really nice. Then we have Paul. A bit off topic, but
I've just seen Pagani's chat message. My moves are success ballast. I love that Pagani.
So P2, Paul, third to round out the podium is T. Smith. So he got the position from Castro at the final with only 9 thousandths of a second. How close was that? And then we have fifth. We have Aaron, sixth Lennon, seventh SBY, 8th Unsafe, 9th Blue Flag, 10th Jono, 11th Ross, 12th Zom, and then to close up Brett and Junkie Sport.
Junkie Sport starting on pole. He's another one who doesn't like to be passed. So it could be interesting seeing how the GT1 boys managed to get past Junkie, especially in the opening laps.
Exactly. If Junkie can keep his cool and keep it maintained for the first couple of laps, he might be able to end up in a good position.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Mike, I'm gonna pay a little visit to the restroom. I'm gonna be right back.
I shall see you in a minute. So, for those of you who are in the chat, we are now at the end of GT Sport. We are about to go for the final 20 minutes around a competitive race on this game. It's given FTRL some incredible memories, some of these races as well, some of these drivers that are such an integral part of what FTRL are, have put so much hard work into this game, not just in terms of racing, but in terms of organising each and every season that all 16 of them, all 16 seasons that they have done on FTRL. I've only been here for 2.5 years now, mainly started on F1, but since I've come over to GT Sport, I fully know how much effort goes into each and every season. So this is the end of it. This is not the end of the racing though. This is going to be just the start of what FTRL is about. We can only get bigger from here. GT7 is going to give us that platform to do so. So let's enjoy these last 20 minutes. We've got our champion. We've got a brilliant champion in Pagani. And we should have a really good race to finish it all off on.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
So yeah, I think it's probably what you said earlier, Mike. So we're heading to the final race of GT Sport.
It's I can imagine for someone like Aaron who started FTRL, this must be quite a big moment because you've seen 16 seasons of this game go through, or this championship go through so many different changes, so many drivers, and now you've got some who have been in here since season 1, who are now going to be season C and out season 16, moving over to GT7 and starting all again in just a few weeks' time.
Exactly.
Yeah, big moment. Let's go out on a high note and let's have some fun with it.
And let's enjoy it. So, give your predictions back again, boys. Who's going to win the final race of GT Sport for FTRL?
So in the chat, let's get your predictions. Who is going to win the final race of GT Sport?
So we have Junkie Sport who's made a GT7 livery already.
He has, yeah.
Good, that's cool. So we have Junkie Sport at P1, Brad P2, Zom, and off we go. Good start for Brad and Zom. The game does give a good camera. Junkie Sport keeps it on the inside. Will he manage to keep that position?
Everyone's clean by looks of it. Oh, Cusker's out wide.
Cusker on the grass.
On the infield.
Meanwhile, Junkie keeps his position from Zom. Ross is putting pressure on Zom as well, and Blue Flag is trying
wide.
to... Yeah, a little contact between him and Sai. We have...
Now, very interesting. We have,
Brett.
in terms of the battle for third in the championship, SBY has had a really, really poor start to this race. He is currently down to 11th, just one place ahead of his championship rival. So yeah, going to be a very interesting battle going on there because Lee knows he's got places to make up.
Well, we're almost at the finish of the first lap, so we have Chunky Sport who's managed to keep P1 and Zam who's following closely, so we have a bit of a gap between the GT2 boys and Ross in third position.
Go on GT2 boys, go on, run.
Make us proud, boys.
Yeah.
Then we have Sai in P4, Unsafe, P5, Jono P6, Paul P7, followed by D. Smith, SBY, who has a bit of an off start, followed by Lennon, Brett. Oh, sorry. My standings were jumping a bit. So we have SBY, then Lee, Brett, Lennon, Aaron, and then Koska in final position.
In the chat we have Captain Chubbs who thinks Aaron was going to win it, but I believe Aaron may have had a bit of an off an early part of the race, so if he does come back to win it, it's going to be one hell of a comeback. But there's nothing to say you can't do it. He's had the pace. He's well within his rights to think he can win it. And we've got a prediction there as well for Unsafe for the final win from good old Nobby.
And Peteman, who's predicting that we're going to take P1, P2 and P3.
I mean, I'll take it.
Fair enough.
Excuse me.
So, blue flag is wide again, but managed to save it. Pushes unsafe. Why is he gonna wait? Wasn't really blue flag's fault, but maybe he has. No, he's just gonna battle with T Smith. He just continues going. Keeps it on the inside. T Smith on the outside will be able, and SBY is looking eager to take advantage of that battle as well. Goes on the inside of T Smith, but Lee is not gonna SBY go.
SBY has that almost a second penalty as well, so that could be crucial. He knows he's got to get cars in between him and Lee, and he's got to make a gap to those cars as well.
It's a bit fights between these four. SBY.
This isn't really working out well for Lee, because the more they battle, the gap becomes a bit bigger in front. And Lee has managed to squeeze up the inside of Sai going into that awkward left-hander.
Sai won't be too happy about that, but
no,
it is as it is.
I think he'll be more upset that SBY also got through.
Yeah. Oh, and we have Lennon now going through as well. Pushes. Oh, nicely saved by Sai. And keep on going. Aaron gets past Sai as well, but Sai is not going to let this happen.
Now,
oh, he does.
Ross has managed to catch up to the back of Zong at the front.
Oh, it's happening that. Oh, and Gasquet shoves Sai onto the grass.
Yeah, I feel like this race has just got a little bit unruly the early stages.
Aggressive around everyone.
It always happens though in race 3. We've always known that since the start of this season, that the reverse grid really does throw up harsher racing, shall we say? Exactly. Where, you know, the slower guys have to defend and the faster guys are eager to get past. It's always going to throw up a battle. And
Lee on the outside of T Smith Druids isn't able to finish that move, but shows that Lee is ready to make a move. But as it stands, SBY only has to get up one place to secure his third place.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they gonna catch Junkie anymore. He's 2.5 seconds off Ross at the moment.
I mean, once Junkie's one of those races that I feel, Ross is wide, he's out on the grass. But I feel like Junkie Sport is one of those races that once he gets clear air, he's very good at keeping it on track, usually. I don't want to be a commentator's curse there. I'd really hope
exactly. He's catches the grass. Well. He catches grass, but managed to save it and keep it straight.
I mean, that Subaru is phenomenal on the grass. Unlike us in the Hyundai or the BMW or any other cars, you can
still have some sort of a chance.
Exactly, you have some kind of
and
chance
Lennon
of keeping it.
Got the gravel. There's the other way around. Side
left,
yeah. Somewhat comprehensible after that disastrous lap.
Lennon currently sitting on the outfield on the outside of the final bend.
Lee has dropped off and lost the slipstream with SBY, so he will have to put his focus down.
Pagani's up to second.
Yeah, Pagani is up to a really good race. Has 3.5 seconds to close to Junkie Sport, so Junkie Sport will feel the pressure already, I reckon, because he knows who's coming.
Who's that going wide out the back as well? Jono. SBY goes up to 5th. We've got Lennon left as well. And you'd like to think that the last race of the season you would have see it through, but it must have been something pretty drastic for them to make them to leave like that. But
I think it was just an accumulation of everything that happened in the lap. We went off first.
I think from Sai's point of view, it was probably he got once one person got free, he almost got swallowed up, didn't he? And it seemed to be a bit of banging about as well.
Unsafe on the outside of turn 3 of Cusker, but thinks better of it. Oh, but catches gravel, but managed to save that. Nice save from Unsafe. Keeps it on the road, keeps it steady. Something must have happened to SBY as well, because he lost T. Smith.
Yeah, something's happened to Ross as well, because he was closing in on P3. I know he went wide coming out of that right-hander down at the bottom of the straight, but he's down now in 11th.
T. Smith looking to make a move after the big straight. Is well in front of Zom, but Zom managed to keep...
That Renault of Zom's keeps it planted. It really is. It's such a good car around here.
But Tom managed to make the move out of the outside, so very nice move from Tom. He's now looking to catch up with Paul, but has a half a second penalty. Another driver who has a penalty is SBY with 0.7 seconds, and if it stands...
He's gradually bringing that penalty down though. It was not 0.9 about a lap and a half ago, so
yeah.
If he keeps going at that rate, he'll get rid of it.
It's a difficult track to lose your penalty though. I think Druids is a good place to make it drop. I think that's about it, to be honest.
Dom positioned his car well there, going around Druids.
Still a little. Lee and Aaron trying to recover that slipstream from SBY. Don't think Aaron is coming to make two big moves, and after them we have a 4-car train. Cusker looking to go on the outside of Jono. Oh, something happened to Zom. It's back to $7 all of a sudden. And Cusker has made the move on the outside. An unsafe release. Ooh, pushes Jono wide. Yeah. If he's fair, he'll have to wait.
We've got Lennon in the YouTube chat now. Would have carried on, but when you get pushed off and have dirty tyres, there's no point carrying on because you've got with the dirty tyres. It is very difficult to find your braking points, get the turn in on the car when you've got dirty tyres. So I can completely understand that. Unlucky Lennon, mate. Move on, get on to GT7, and we'll have some races on there. We're looking forward to that.
Meanwhile, at the front, Pagani is within a second of Chunky Sport now. So Chunky Sport just needs to keep driving and keep it smooth, and maybe he'll keep Pagani off. But it's a difficult task knowing that it's Paul who's coming up. What's happening further back? SBY is in P4, so if he keeps this position, he's certain of that third position in the standings.
I think it looks like, unless SBY does make any a major mistake, it looks like he's going to seal P3 in the championship. Cusker a little bit wide, but he's managed to hold it. Should say as well, Lee Cole should not feel at all ashamed about not managing to get P3. He's had a brilliant season. I mentioned last week
on the inside of Chunky.
He's made the move. He's made it stick as well. Great move.
Positioned his car very well.
I mentioned last week about Lee Cole that the last few seasons there's been questions, and probably from himself as well, that his racing standards, his results haven't been as good as what he would want them to be. And I think this season he's kind of got back to form. He's managed to, get a few really good results. And alongside some of these boys, that is nothing to be ashamed of at all.
No, exactly. But that's the thing with Lee, isn't it? He's in all three of the leagues of FTRL. He's in
Yep.
F1. He's in ACC now again. He's in GT Sport, and as the rest of the field mainly focus most
On
of their
kind of one
time
of
on
them.
GT Sport,
Mm.
he tends to put the focus on all three of them. So
Yeah, I think he's not doing F1 currently because I think he's doing comms for both divisions, and obviously at FTRL we absolutely love a Lee commentary.
yeah,
He is the goat when it comes to that.
yeah, I've seen it today, like how he manages to swap around all the different cards.
Mm.
I see every little thing and just commentate
He does it on
fluently.
his own as well,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's what really baffles me. I was on my own for commentary for the first couple of races last week, and trying to work out what you should be looking at.
It's so difficult, isn't it? Like
It's incredible. Yeah,
sometimes I'm just scrolling down and hoping to see something or
yeah.
catch everything.
Exactly. When you have two people there, one person, you've got that other person that you can rely on to say, right, there's something going on at the back, there's something going on here, but you don't have that when you're on your own. And for that reason alone, Lee is just, he is the OG when it comes to comms.
Exactly, exactly.
Junkie Sports just fallen down a little bit here. He's gone down to fourth, um, but he can certainly he can have a bit of a say here as well. If he can make a bit of a challenge to get back past SBY, well, just as I say that, he's gone wide. I was going to say he might be able to hold SPY up a little bit to try and allow Lee
yeah,
back into this fight, but just going wide there, not really going to let him do that.
I think that's the thing with Junkie Sport. Once he's passed, he wants too much to stay close to the person in front
Yeah,
of him,
yeah, he's
which
gone wide again. He's
which allows him to
Carl,
make
if
some
you can hear this,
mistakes.
calm down. He's definitely pushing it, but he's doing what I usually do. As soon as I get past, I'm trying to just make sure I stick with the car in front, and 9 times out of 10 they're faster than me, so I usually end up making mistakes.
Well, I, I keep, I think, yeah, everybody does that unconsciously sometimes. Like when I got
Yeah,
past, I tried to keep up as well. Like, oh, T Smith has got gravel.
yeah, you went wide.
Rare mistake from the Mr.
Mm.
T Smith.
He's got rid of his penalty as well. He's now got his teammate behind him. Good old Ross is your daddy.
Meanwhile, Lee is trying to make a move on Junkie as well. At the moment, he doesn't. Oh, picks himself a half-second penalty.
SPY will like seeing that.
Exactly. No, he is safe though. He has 2.5 seconds gap between him.
Yeah, he just needs to keep it clean, keep it on the tarmac.
Zom.
Oh, just as I say that, he's gone wide. Oh, he's held it. SPY's held it. I honestly thought he was gone then. If he had gone off and spun round, I would have opened it up for Lee Cole.
A little bit of battle going on between Zom and Kasker as well. But so far, the GT2 boats are keeping up very nicely.
Zom has, just as you say that, Zom has spun.
Ah, well, that's the commentator's curse for me.
Yep.
I think I never had it before, but yeah, for everything, first time.
First time for everything.
Lee is really looking feisty behind Junkie, but he has to take an eye, and Aaron goes on the inside of him. We make this move, gets a big old whittle out of the exit, which manages for Lee to keep the position. But it doesn't seem over if he gets a good move. Oh, and he gets a good exit, but Lee is of course still in slipstream, so don't reckon he will make the move. And he doesn't. Let's look further at the back. Jonah and Ross still together. Subaru against the Lancer.
Yeah, I think Pagani's got this the final race sewn up here. It's probably quite fitting that he's going to win the final race of the GT Sport
Exactly.
era.
He's been consistent in every race and throughout every season, so
Yeah, he has.
he has been a consistent value.
It should be said as well that on top of his racing, what should we call it? Accolades, shall we say? He's also put a tremendous amount of effort into the testing of all the cars from pretty much every season of FTRL. So he puts in the shift, he puts in the work, and it shows. It really does show on track.
Yeah, exactly. Still a bit feisty between the battle for P3. With
Yeah,
them
Junkie's not
a
going to give
bit
it up.
battling. Cusker and T-Smith are able to catch up as well, so we might have a 5-car train for the last lap for this. Meanwhile, at the back, it's been spread out, so at the front as well. So let's stay with these cars for the remainder of the race. Ooh, bit of bad turn from Lee. It's almost the. Ooh, but now back exit of the corner of Junkie, and which allow Lee to get on the outside.
Junkie defensive.
Yeah.
Aaron down the inside of Lee.
Wants to take a grain of that. Gets pushed on the grass.
Oh, this is going to be a fight. It's going to be a feisty final lap, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Looking, a bit of sliding off Junkie, but nice catch from him. And Lee takes profit of this. Cusker as well. Great recovery though from Junkie.
Yeah, he managed to hold that around the inside against Cusker.
Ooh, bit of wiggle from Cusker. Oh yeah, big wiggle. Oh, Cusker lagged out, I reckon. Okay.
You've 45 seconds after the 45 seconds after the season to go. I'm not too sure it was worth leaving for, but
okay, Junkie on the grass, which one is Tom to get up? And Tom, you at the front.
Yeah,
Ball is heading to the last corner.
Watch the champion come across the line.
Give him a big applause, ladies and gentlemen, for GT16 champion.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant result there from SBY as well. He steals P3 in this championship, and Lecole bleeds his penalty. Just manages to do it in time to beat Aaron to the line. That must have been close.
Close finishes though tonight.
Yeah, very close finishes.
P7 we have Ross, who's gonna take the opportunity to do some donuts.
I was wondering if anybody would do that.
Yeah. Compared to F1, it is allowed in FTRL to do donuts, so...
Exactly, yeah. Well, and that wraps up GT Sport on FTRL. It's been a hell of a 16 seasons. I haven't seen all of them. I've heard stories, I've heard memories, I've seen clips. Yeah, let's just hope that we can make just as many, if not more, on GT7.
Exactly. Like Mark said, we had some beautiful moments on GT Sport. We had good laughs, we had good races. Sometimes it went.
Plenty of bottles.
The adrenaline took the overhand, but we managed to keep it fun nevertheless. And yeah, especially we're gonna be happy to see you guys again for GT7. It's gonna be a couple of weeks till we sort everything out, but we're expecting you again every week on Thursday or Fridays. Will depend on how many people
Yep.
we'll have. If I'm correct, there are still some positions or seats open
There are,
for the
yep.
GT series. So if you happy to join us, feel free to send us a message and join.
Absolutely keep an eye out for on our social media channels for sign-up sheets, information about the new season, when it's going to start, all that good stuff. And then until then, Ron, thank you very much for having me on the commentary tonight.
It was a pleasure, mate. Thank you for helping me. Otherwise, it would have been a disaster, I reckon. But
I highly doubt that. It was good. It was good to see out the final race of GT Sport with you, bud.
no, exactly. We had a couple of good races tonight. Thank you for
Yeah,
watching all. If you didn't do it yet, leave us a like and give us a sub. If you have some friends who might be interested in racing, let us know. Let them know about our channel, our community. It's fucking great to say it in bad English. No, but thank you very much for watching, and we hope to catch you on GT7 in a couple of weeks.